today our next video, that is basically the classification of bacteria. Okay. So bacteria is basically classified on the basis of the nutritions. Okay, nutritions. So bacteria is classified on the basis of the nutrition, like to obtain the energy and carbon, these all. So it is divided into the two parts. First one is the autotrophic, and second one is basically the heterotrophic. So in today's video we will discuss about the autotrophic. In the next video we will discuss about the heterotrophic. Autotrophic, which means that autotrophic are basically which make their organic compound from other inorganic sources, like they make their own, like you can say they make their own food by the you can say that what we say, they make their own food, but with the help of what, they are having the capability to produce their own food. Okay, so that is called the autotrophic, and they make their food by like the organic compound from the inorganic sources. Like you can take the example of carbon dioxide. Okay, so they are making their own compound, like they are having the capability to make their own compound from the organic sources or inorganic sources. So that is called the autotrophic. If we talk about the heterotrophic, so that will be the opposite of the autotrophic. So autotrophic is divided into two groups. First one is basically the photosynthetic or autotrophics, photosynthetic, and second one we are having, that is the chemosynthetic. Okay, so if we talk about the photosynthetic, there and autotroph you can say that, or chemoautotroph you can say that, or photosynthetic or chemosynthetic you can say that. So let me tell you guys, we are discussing these both, but photosynthesis or photosynthetic, sorry, it is divided into two parts. First is the oxygenic and second is the non-oxygenic. That will be also discussing. I'm just giving you the overview that what we are going to discuss. So if we talk about oxygenic example, that is the cyanobacteria. If we talk about the non-oxygenic, that can be green sulfur, okay, purple sulfur. Okay, if we talk about the chemosynthetic, that is also divided into the 5 classes. First is the hydromonas. Okay, second one we are having the sulfur monas, and third one we are having the pheromonas and nitromonas, and then carbon bacteria. Hydromonas, which means that use hydrogen. Sulfur monas, which means they use sulfur. Pheromonas, which means they use iron. Nitromonas, which means they use nitrogen, and carbon monas, which means they use carbon. So let's move toward the photosynthetic or the autotrophs bacteria. Okay, so they are also called, as you guys all know, they are also called the photosynthetic bacteria. Okay, so if we talk about the photosynthetic bacteria, so they are having the capability to you can say that produce their own food using the inorganic material. Okay, all the photosynthetic bacteria contain a pigment. I'm just talking about the photosynthetic. All the photosynthetic contain the pigment in thin color vesicle, like this. For example, this is the bacteria, and they are like having the vesicle and they are having the color pigments. So that we are calling as this is the enfolding. Okay, that we are calling as a chromatophores. Okay, and this is work in the photosynthesis. Okay, so as you guys all know, oxygenic photosynthetic such as cyanobacteria, they contain what? They contain chlorophyll A. And non-oxygenic bacteria such as green sulfur or non-sulfur, purple sulfur, they are having a pigment, that is the bacteriochlorophyll. Okay, and they release the oxygen and with the help of the photosynthesis. Okay, and they excrete out of water as a raw material. Okay, if it was a non-oxygenic, they do not use water, they release sulfur. Okay, different mechanics, you can say that mechanism are according to the, you can say, environment occur. So if we talk about the bacteria chlorophyll, so let me write that 12 hydrogen sulfur plus carbon dioxide, and they use their pigment, that is the bacteria chlorophyll, and they make a glucose, and the glucose occur plus 6 hydrogen water occur and 6 sulfide occur. So they are releasing what, as you guys all know, the sulfur. Okay, so that was about the photosynthetic bacteria. They are having capability to produce their own food by the inorganic material. Okay, so example we are having. Okay, so if we talk about the, you can say that the chemo autotrophs, like this one, chemo autotroph. Okay, so the chemo autotrophic bacteria make, you can say that, carbohydrate from inorganic substances. Okay, so they do not use the light energy. Okay, light energy they do not use. Okay, and they oxidize the inorganic substance. Okay, the energy that is produced by the inorganic substance, they use that to make the carbohydrate. Okay, so we are having the sulfur bacteria oxidize and sulfur to produce the energy. Okay, so they basically oxidize the inorganic compound to, and the energy that is released, so they make the carbohydrate from that energy. Okay, like the sulfur is released. Okay, so the energy that is produced, that the bacteria use to make the carbohydrate. Okay, CH2O, this is the formula of the carbohydrate. Okay, so the example, if we talk about the autotrophic bacteria, are basically the nitrifying bacteria. Okay, and we are having, that is the sulfur bacteria. Okay, so next bacteria we are having, that is the mutualistic bacteria. If we talk about the mutualistic bacteria, which means they both species can get benefit. If they are giving benefit to the plant, so plant will also give their benefits, give the benefit to the bacteria. Okay, so they are having the mutual or symbiotic association, which means they give their benefit to both will be getting benefit. So they are having a mutual or symbiotic association with the plants. Okay, they fix what? They fix the atmospheric nitrogen, and they convert into the nitrates, and the nitrates convert into the ammonia, and ammonia convert into the amino acid or the proteins. Okay, if we talk about so they are basically having the close association with the plant as symbionts. Okay, if we talk about the example, that is a clostridium. Okay, bacillus. Okay, and bacillus, but some species, and you can take the example of the rhizobium. Okay, and if you can say that they are providing help, they are providing, you can say that, help to the plants, like to, they are converting nitrates and these all. So the symbionts bacteria also live in the roots of the leguminous plant. Okay, so if we talk about the plants, so plants, what plants are providing to the bacteria? Plants basically provide the shelter, thin shelter, and nutrients to bacteria. So you can see that the bacteria is also getting benefit and the plant is also getting benefit. So that is called the mutualistic bacteria. So this was about the autotrophic. So in the next video we'll discuss about the heterotrophic.